What's up, geeks? Boser here. I just wanted to pop in before we began tonight's episode to let you know that you might notice a definite lack of a specific something, namely all of the video. Because of technical difficulties, merch in the merch store, you might notice that you can't see anything that we're doing, and that is because all the video has been lost, taken from us before it even got a chance to live, to love. Only death. But in its place, we have decided to put a nice slideshow of images, of concept art, of pictures that we found on the internet that kind of help define the world of Pandora as we see it. So it gives you a glimpse into what we are seeing in the imagination of our mind. So let's rewind the clock to that golden age of radio when you couldn't see anything anyway, and enjoy tonight's episode of The Misfits.
Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, where geeks come to geek out. We are back for City of Mist episode 6.
Can you believe
episode
it?
5, session 6.
No, session 6, episode 5. No,
because session
7,
0 numbers are hard
7.
sometimes. We're back to play City of Mist. We have a smaller table, and that's okay because this is not a war game. So you can do a lot of fun things narratively with smaller parties that does not make your party's lives a lot more difficult. I'm T. I'm your master of ceremonies. Thanks for joining us on Misfits. Merch coming soon if it's not out already.
We'll see.
Because we know that you watched one whole episode by now, and you just couldn't wait for the merch. I'm Boser. I'm playing Cornelius Avergilius III, also known as Dale. And my fun fact that I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this before. Shit. Okay, something cool about Dell is Dell has been in love once.
Just once?
As you got the little snippet from the last episode.
Just that quick glimpse, if you caught it. Yep, just once. He doesn't... You remember he lost his memory from anything past 8 years ago. So maybe he was before, he doesn't know, but in the last 8 years, he's been in love once.
Interesting.
So if you guys have not noticed, every time they say fun facts, they say, oh shit, because I've requested one thing from them. This campaign
only
is
one.
every episode, just give a fun fact about your character, kind of help yourself flesh out this character. Just doesn't matter if prevalent or not, it may come up in story, it may not. Just kind of give you a good deep dive into this character without thinking too hard, and this has just been the hardest thing for them outside of making their characters.
No, it's a little more complicated than that, right? You can't just like make a whole list and be like, okay, here you go. Because are you ready in the story to give away that tidbit? Does that tidbit have, and did the last episode have any moment that now you want to use your fun fact to expand upon? Or do you just want to throw it away like he's never had ice cream?
I am Jeff Sitz. I am playing Andresj, or the Broker. The information broker of the Neon Pillars, a very sci-fi, cyberpunk district of the city, and I exchange information for prices. This is an interesting case, or has been an interesting case, because usually Andresj is not approached directly, but Mr. Pierce Snyder did approach Andresj directly rather than the broker.
If you're curious what the sound is in my head, it's dun 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 every time I do that.
And this is, I guess the fun fact for this week is Pierce Snyder is the only person alive, as far as Andresj knows, that knows that Andresj is the broker. Other people have found out, but Pierce Snyder is the only person alive now who knows.
That's very good, very good. Very tasty, very saucy, very spicy. Recap of last week. Unfortunately, if you missed last week, that was Alex's last episode for a good chunk of time. He's getting ready to go back to school. He's getting ready to start teaching, so his schedule is kind of few and far between. He's getting married, so he doesn't get to devote all of his time with us, sadly. But that's not the last you will see of Colin. He and I are workshopping some things behind the scene. So I'm going to tell you guys, because it's not going to be a big secret, but we're going to learn about what Colin's been doing by voicemail. So Alex is going to record some voicemails behind the scene that we're going to play live for you guys, as we're going to kind of expand the world through Colin's eyes and get a backstory of what's going on in Colin's world via just 30-second to minute-long voicemails that he is going to record, and we're going to upload a part of the episode. So
very cool.
But last episode, they learned, our crew here learned what they were facing against, which was a skinwalker, which in Navajo lore is a dark witch that was intended to use the ability to shapeshift as a defense for the tribes against the white man. But as we all know, in most lore and mythologies and legends and tales, black magic usually has some negative side effects. So this individual had no control over this black magic and ended up losing themselves as a rift to the mist, because this Robert Zuelo, our mass murderer, our complicated individual, ended up committing himself fully to the mist and making himself an avatar. The heroes were able to swiftly take down the villain, much to my chagrin, because I don't know how to balance dangers in this game quite yet, but clearly I need to fucking turn it up quite a bit.
This one's going to be like a 40.
This bitch got point. 2-shot, and I didn't get to do any of the cool powers with it. But after they quickly bested this danger, they got another interaction with Harry Underling, a commanding officer of Detective Cooper, who operates under this mystery entity known as the Inn. And then they had a minor interaction with Pierce Snyder as his Mythos roared its mighty head against Colin's King Arthur, as they had a bit of clashing tongues. And we're actually going to pick up immediately into that scene as Del is still supporting Andresj, who is currently blind at the moment. As I'm assuming Del is filling in Andresj on what is happening right now.
I don't actively interpret what's happening while they're fighting, but yeah, as Colin says his final words and storms off, and did Detective Cooper go off into the portal with what's his butt?
No, I would say right now Detective Cooper is probably just watching. So the four of you. So actually, what happens here is Pierce Snyder actually pulls a notebook or a book out of his pocket and begins writing and rips out a check. Who do I trust with the payment for your guys' services?
We get paid for this.
That's how jobs work.
Shit, I was doing this for a good time, but
I mean, if I don't have to,
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
You can do it right here. That's it. Hold. I lean Andresj against the wall. Stay steady right there.
As Pierce Snyder turns over a check for $10,000.
Shit.
That is a collective payment, not individual payment.
Do you all use Venmo? Use Cash App? Can I get this to you?
I'll have to. This payment is for the broker. I'll get paid through the broker.
Shit.
Cooper, I need to speak with you. The two of you, enjoy your evenings. I will be in touch. And Cooper and Snyder are going to walk off down the alleyway. So the two of you are left standing there behind the Echelon high-rise, standing before a massive hole that leads to a sewer system where there is a homeless... What's the term for...
like a tent city?
A tent city, yeah.
Or a Hooverville, if you're real old.
Yeah.
Did not give myself another drink. Rip me.
I don't know about you, Del, but I'm feeling rather drained.
I mean, what I really need is probably a shower. But what I really want is a drink. You drink, Andresj?
Occasionally. But I could go for... I feel like I haven't eaten all day. But I know a place.
You got a good place around here? It's not quite my part of town.
Not so much around here. I actually have to pull up the map.
Yeah.
That, T has sent us because I'm trying to think of... So where are we in relation to...
So, the map I sent you yesterday is just the gang art of it. You guys are on the north side of that echelon high-rise. So where the high-rise is... You're in the Genie's territory at the moment. So you guys are on the top part of that echelon high-rise, bordering the Daywalkers in the Genie's territory. But the cool part of, again, with smaller casts like this at the time, we get to do a lot of world building. So you guys literally speak things into existence. So you tell me where you're going and what part of the map it will be in, and I will generate that on my side for the future.
If you want to head to the other side of town, I know a good ramen shop.
Ooh.
Do you know what? I'm not sure I had a whole lot of ramen. Is that like the soup?
It's like a soup.
Do they got drinks there?
They've got sake.
What is sake?
It's
You know what?
It's
Fuck it. I don't really care. If it can get me drunk, that's fine.
Are you heading northwest, west, or southwest?
We are heading south. It would be... Wait, what's north on this map then?
You said opposite side of town, so I just figured you were heading towards... I've just, map-wise, are you putting this in the...
Neon pillars.
Oh, so you're heading southeast.
Southeast.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, and what is the name of this ramen shop?
That's a good question. Hey, chat.
Do you know the name of the ramen shop? That's right.
Ramen shop name generator. Ramen business names.
I got one. No, because it shouldn't just be in English. It should be like somewhat in another language, I feel like.
So I pop open Clip Studio Paint because I can't afford anything else.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm working as fast as I can.
With your
right now.
donations, we could.
Where's J? There we go.
I gotta make sure I build this on the correct part of the map. So that would be... that layer. So hide that.
I love this web that you're creating.
Writing on this
It's just
layer.
I find myself trying not to read it just because I don't want to spoil things for me, but
Oh, you can read it all you want. When it
Still not
becomes
gonna know
prevalent and what is added onto it is a whole nother question.
yeah.
What part of the neon pillars, Jeff, sits northeast, south, or west are you?
I'd say it's probably on the... Oh, why did I close out of the map? That was dumb of me. Probably... on the edge of the Neon Pillars district. Where is it? I'm sorry. I know I'm slowing us down.
That's
here.
okay. I just want to build the map around where you would have it located.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess... What is that? The blue area there. The mammoths?
So you're building it towards the mammoths? Okay. We'll put it
Yeah,
towards
I
that
figured-
green block there.
I figured on the edge of the two districts, or not on the edge, but closer to the edge of the Neon Pillars district. It'd be kind of like a...
Okay.
It'd be like a little corner market store kind of thing. Very hole in the wall. A place where Andresj has been plenty of times before because it's a really good place to not stand out.
Fill that in white.
And what they're talking about as far as map, y'all, chat, you can head to our Instagram, where occasionally T will post an updated version of this map. looks like a rainbow-colored blob. That's the map of the city of Pandora that we were constantly building.
And Jeff,
really
oh
cool.
shit, that was not what I was supposed to be doing. Do you come up with a name?
I have not.
All right, so I'm just gonna title it Ramen Shop for the time being. Ramen Shop.
Hey, I got my bike here if you want to jump on with me.
Sure. That's not gonna be terrifying at all. Like feeling their way to like onto the back seat of the bike.
Nah, I'll help you, and you just hold on tight to me, and I'll make sure you
Okay.
get where you want to go.
So we're gonna do a quick save here. File, save, and close that out. Get rid of that little pen there. Close that, open Obsidian, and then we're gonna go locations, new note, Ramen Shop, and we'll have that named later. Okay, cool. So, you are riding on the back of Dell's bike, and I want to know how terrified is Andresj at the moment because he's riding on the back of a motorcycle blind.
Roll face danger.
It'd be pretty. I mean, it'd be.
But you're adept
wouldn't
at
say
blind
terrif-
fighting. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm terrified.
That's fair.
I am
That's fair.
Nervous, but Andresj is still kind of riding on the fact that they have the like I said at the end of last session, the power dynamic still seems tipped in Andresj's favor here.
Fair, yeah.
Andresj has been able to feels like they've been able to pick up more on the other three people in the group, as well as keep their true identity secret from them.
Okay.
And may play into the, terrified, play into the aspect of, oh, I'm so scared. Are we almost there?
Fair and okay.
But isn't actually as scared as they let on.
Cool. All right.
okay.
So it is later in the evening. You guys have had a very, very busy day. And it's probably 10:30, almost 11 o'clock at night. So the streets of Pandora aren't empty, but they're quieter than normal. There's always something going on in Pandora. It's much like New York City. It's a bustling city no matter the time of day. But not much is going on. So you manage to drive through Pandora more or less unaffected. You're catching green lights. You're making good time. Question for myself. Cultural appropriation to pull up Google Translator and try to speak to you in the foreign language of this ramen shop?
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably.
won't really do that then. I was trying to give more immersion to it, but definitely didn't want to be like, white man trying to force. Okay, thanks.
Which I think is exactly what would happen.
You're right. My mind was immersion because I wasn't sure if I
heart's in the
wasn't going
right
to try
place.
an accent here.
Your heart's in the right place.
So you guys make your way up to this ramen shop corner market. Jeff says, what type of ramen is it?
What do you mean?
Like, are we going, I guess more my head went like noodle shop. Are we going Japanese style? Are we going Korean? Are we going?
Oh no, it's full on Japanese.
Okay, cool.
Hole in the Japanese ramen shop, hole in the wall kind of place, authentic as fuck.
There's a small Japanese lady out front with a broom shooing off people she doesn't want around.
There is if you looked through the trash of this place, you would just see the dozens of pork bones that they have burned through to make the broth and everything. So it's just
I would say it's probably fairly busy right now. You pull up to the shop, and I'm not saying you're going to be waiting in line, but as you enter the store, you see a few people are kind of shopping at the market, trying to get what they're needing done. But in the corner where their ramen shop actually is, most tables are occupied at this point. There is a table left for you guys to sit down and enjoy yourselves. But there's quite a few people here chit-chatting. Doesn't seem very Mythos heavy. It seems to be just an average mom and pop shop keeping the lights on. Store is absolutely 24/7. My kids think they need to scream every time they speak. As you guys sit down, a young waitress makes her way over. What can I get you guys?
Shots.
Okay.
Shots.
Any food, or are we just drinking? We'll
two
get to
bottles of warm sake, and I will have the tonkotsu ramen with
Okay.
extra spicy.
Oh, you like your spicy, huh? Well, I never had this stuff, but give me the same.
Alrighty. And she gives you guys a quick smile and kind of exits it over, and quickly returns back with the sake for you. As she sets them down, gives you guys glassware if you would like it, and steps off.
Now, is there like a traditional way to drink this? Why is it warm?
It helps the alcohol hit you faster.
You know what? I knew I liked
As I forgot my own name.
Andresj.
As Andresj pours themselves
It's Sam,
a
actually.
glass. Yeah. So like the way that the the sake comes out is in like a traditional glass or a like clay glass sake bottle, with like Japanese characters
Like glazed
painted on the side of it.
glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Fired kiln.
And then they,
Yeah.
yep, and then like that bottle is presented at the table along with the small cups. And so like the bottle keeps the sake warm, and then you just pour it into the cup and just continue drinking out of that. And so as this is going on, Andresj just pours themselves a glass and just helps the alcohol get to you faster, and throws back the first glass and pours another drink.
Hey, well, hang on one sec. I pour myself a little bit. Andresj, I raise it. If the ocean were beer and I were a duck, I'd swing to the bottom and I'd drink my way up. But the ocean ain't beer and I ain't no duck. So let's drink this sake and get fucked up.
What a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah, a friend of mine taught me that, and it's just stick with me, you know.
I think the ramen shop should be called I don't know, Ogenki ramen or Genki ramen.
Can you spell that for me?
I like Genki ramen. I can remember that.
It's a possible name. I'm looking up like common phrases in Japanese as well, trying to refresh my.
All right. So as you guys are sitting there,
No, you know what?
Okay.
I'll text you later. I'm
okay,
sorry.
gotcha.
Yeah, let's let this be the next 2 hours.
Oh no! Why can't I hear you anymore?
Hello?
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
So as you guys are sitting there and kind of winding down from a fucking active evening, a fucking stressful evening, internal conflict, few external conflicts, two comically sized bowls of ramen make their way out to you. Portion control, not a thought process here. It's very large bowls are dropped down in front of you. I mean, we're talking ramen to the nines. We're talking Naruto all around it, a couple hard-boiled eggs in it, plenty of onion galore, and it just looks absolutely magnificent. As she drops the bowls in front of you, Del, you said you haven't done a lot of spicy.
No, I like spice, but I've never done ramen.
Okay, gotcha. I was gonna make a comical face to danger, but we won't do that. As the two bowls are presented in front of you, the waitress once again kind of bows and tells you to enjoy.
thank you so much. Is there a certain way you're supposed to eat this? I see sticks and a big spoon.
The spoon is for the broth, the sticks are for the noodles.
Well, I guess I'll do one at a time.
You can also just, as Andresj, still blind, like, reaches for the bowl, gets a good grip on it. You can also just... leave the char siu for the end.
The what?
The pork belly.
Oh, all right. Maybe I'll wait till I get mine a little bit lower before I try to pick this giant bowl up one-handed. But Andresj, I gotta know. You surprised me today in more ways than one. I just thought you were a little tech nerd that works for the broker or whatever. But then you whipped out some of those moves almost like before you saw them coming.
There's a reason the broker hires me.
Keep going.
Big loud slurp.
4 Geeks by Geeks presents ASMR.
Right?
You know, on a date like this, you're supposed to share a little bit more about yourself.
There's not much to tell. I didn't realize we were on a date.
There's 2 people. Just getting off quite the adrenaline high. Enjoying each other's company sounds like a date to me.
That's fair. I don't usually... I'm not the dating type, so I'll defer to your expertise in this.
Well, what kind of type are you?
Reserved.
You don't say. Well, where'd you train?
There was a dojo in town here for a while.
Really?
I had started training there when I was very young. Just as a kid. It interested me. Living in the city, you need to figure out some sort of self-defense. And
Did we ever solidify a name for the dojo?
I don't
Oh
think
God,
so.
don't start that again.
It is prevalent. I don't know if you and I had ever workshopped a name for it.
But there was, some things happened in my neighborhood and spooked me into wanting to be able to protect myself, so I made sure I was able to.
And I reach over and grab the sake bottle and fill both their cups, and I just kind of nudge the cup towards your hand. And which neighborhood was that?
I grew up in the Neon Pillars district.
Oh, right here, huh?
Mm-hmm. This is one of my older stomping grounds.
Yeah. Can I be honest?
Please.
This part of town freaks me the hell out. I'm kind of
That's
old
part of
school,
why I like it.
as you can see. I was up. You remember where we first met up at a factory? That's sort of my stomping grounds, and complete opposite to this, huh?
The factory.
That's where we met. That big old empty factory. Remember?
The dojo is going to be called the Rising Horizons.
The Rising Horizons Dojo. Okay, let me write that down real quick.
Somebody came to say hi. She didn't want to come. Sorry, guys. Try to get Harper on the screen.
What people really come here for.
Mm-hmm. But she's got no collar. We don't put a collar on her, so the only thing I could pull her by is like her head. She's like, eh.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah. Like, I'm
But
like,
I don't think I was there for that meeting.
oh, that's right. I was talking to a robot that whole time. Yeah, your boss just sent one of the drones. Was talking to us through that.
As I said when we first met, the broker doesn't do people well.
Why is that? Is he like a weirdo or something? Has he got like a scar on his face? Is he ugly?
I'm not sure. I've never seen his face. Or their face. To be frank, I'm not sure whether they're man, woman, otherwise, or in between.
How do you contact the broker normally?
I don't. The broker contacts me when I'm needed.
So you just sit around and wait till the broker calls you?
Oh, I'm a mercenary for hire. I have jobs come up all the time. I just will set others aside for jobs for the broker, since they tend to run this side of the city.
Yeah.
It pays well, regardless of the money I get for it. It pays well to be in the good graces of someone as... What's the word I'm looking for, guys? Not powerful, but as influential as the broker.
Would you say they're good people?
The broker?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
They are logical to a fault, unfeeling, manipulative. But it's why they've maintained power over the neon pillars for so long.
Well, I guess I'll add them to the short list of people I'm not in a rush to meet.
You'd be better off not. If this part of town already gives you the heebie-jeebies, you'd probably be better off not interacting with the broker.
You know, it's just so loud over here, you know? Like, everything's bright. Everything's so fast. Seems like technology's taking off like a whiz. It can barely keep up. I feel like I'm just catching on to something before they're already 4 steps ahead on this side of town.
You've got your own surprises, though.
Yeah. I like working my hands, though.
That's fair, but it's not... There doesn't seem to be too much of a difference to me of technology versus your mechanical genius.
Well, I can't really take credit for all that mechanical genius. I was always pretty crafty, but I've leveled up.
Really? What do you mean?
Spoiler alert, I don't do it all by my own power. If you haven't noticed that this whole fucked up nightmare of a town, every day's new kook wakes up or pops up.
We're all touched by the mist to some degree, yes.
Yeah, and I didn't ask for this. Like, I've just been looking for answers for about the last year or so, and keep coming up with more questions. You look like you got answers behind your eyes, though.
I might. But what kind of questions do you have?
Dell pours another sake in each cup. And he doesn't throw this one back. He kind of just pulls it close and leans forward. Where'd it come from? Right? Like, what started all this? Why can't I sleep half the time? Where do these visions come from? Why can't everybody leave this town? Got questions, friend.
I wish that I could give you answers to any of those questions, but it seems like there's... Sometimes the questions are much bigger than we are. And the way this city has been for almost a decade now has... It's like trying to question why the Earth revolves around the sun, or why time only flows in one direction.
It just seems like this place is so much smaller than those big questions. Shouldn't be that big.
It shouldn't, but something about this mist is.
Mysterious.
See,
There's something on the...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm a cause and effect kind of guy. You know, like you put this gear here, it turns and it does this one thing. Cause and effect. The effect is a mist. The effect is I can take shit from the trash and turn it into a rifle. In a matter of minutes. I shouldn't be able to do that. I'm grateful, but it's not natural. What's the cause?
Obviously, you know the base level. That's the mist, but that's what I mean by why does the Earth revolve around the sun? We know the base explanation of gravitational pull and attraction of atoms and particles across a quantum space, but you go deeper and why do the laws of this universe work the way that they do? The problem is the mist hasn't been around as long as gravity or physics, so we're still just scratching the surface.
What if it was?
What if the mist has been around forever?
Yeah. We discover new shit all the time. That's something to think about.
Do you want to know what I think of the mist?
I lean in and I look straight in your eyes. Can you see yet?
I feel like at this point, yeah, it's been a little while. My sight has slowly been coming back throughout this. And so, I mean, I'll give a cute little visual right now. Like, what Andresj is seeing as they're focusing in on Del is, like, blurry all around. So it's just, like, the lights, the neon lights are giving, like, this glowing halo around Del. And because their eyes are still damaged and just healing, Del's the only thing in focus. With just, like, a blur of lights around everywhere else. Yes. If you go back far enough, all of us are starlight. We're all just the same things that make up the stars. And what if the mist is just what made the stars at the very beginning? Cosmic horrors and wonders galore.
That's damn near poetry right there.
This is why the broker hires me to deal with people. I tend to be a little better with them.
How long does that thing last with your eyes?
What, the blindness?
Yeah.
Oh, it depends. If I go too hard,
I'd say it's probably been an hour at this point.
Yeah. If I go too hard, it can be a day. Sometimes it's only for a minute or two.
What causes it? Why does that happen?
Well, the same thing that allows you to turn a pile of trash into a rifle.
So I showed you mine. Let me show you yours.
And Andresj, I would like to do a look within.
Okay.
To Del and try and essentially read his mind a little bit.
So we're gonna say that's an investigate.
Okay. And it's just gonna be the one look within.
Okay.
Nope. That is a total of 6.
Yeah, so as your kind of focus is trying to still bring in all the information around you.
I've got this, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want to add anything, please
good.
do. But just as, like, you see Andresj focusing hard on your face, Del, and their right eye starts to glow blue. And then as it starts getting brighter and brighter as they look more and more intensely into your eyes, and then, ow, oh, nope. Still recovering.
It's a neat trick, though.
The only thing I'm going to add to that is you were using your powers to try to get an insight in on Dell there. I would say the blinding light that you see is the flash of a hammer smacking against an anvil, emitting a massive flame outwards that's kind of blocking you from being able to get a good insight look on Dell.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my, as I said, it depends on how much I've used it, and I've used it quite a bit today. But it just allows me some insight. Lets me see things that other people might not be able to.
That's gotta come in handy. Is it like X-ray vision?
No, not quite that. More being able to figure out a person's reasons for doing something. Because while you're cause and effect, I focus more on a similar concept, but just why. I like to know the why of everything, rather than the how.
Seem like we make a good team.
We can cover each other's
Blind spots. Wink.
You got it.
And I lean back. So, what's my why?
Well, I'm not sure yet. We saw an awful lot of the motivation behind our other two team members. Got a lot of insight behind the curtain for both of them, I feel like. However, you are still a little bit of an enigma. I don't think purposefully so, but...
Well,
Have you ever heard of the phrase, so overt, it's covert?
so overt, it's covert. No, I don't think my circles use big words like that.
It means that you can use... It means using a flashy performance to call attention to yourself in hopes of hiding something else about yourself.
Like a misdirection.
So many new... How'd we land on Misfits so fast? There's so many we could have done. Huh. Never heard it put quite that explicit, but I might know what you're talking about.
So I have a feeling you are hiding quite a bit without really having to hide it all that much.
I reach over to my right sleeve flapping next to my side. I say, believe me, there ain't much up these sleeves.
Have we solidified how much of Dell's arm is gone?
It's pretty much to here.
Just at the shoulder?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's just a little bit of a nub.
Okay.
Now what about you, Dell? You said you're from the Foundry area.
Yeah, the old district.
What's that like?
Yeah, well, that's the kind of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps kind of place, you know. Kind of picked up by the Foundry not too long ago. Like I said, about 8 years ago by now. Shit, time passes quick, doesn't it? And, I got myself a little family over there. They're good people. We don't always do right by every citizen of Pandora, but we always do right by each other. And I respect that.
What kind of family?
What other kind
I'm
of family
assuming a
is there?
found one. I'm assuming a found family
You
of
got
some
it.
kind.
That's it.
I've heard of a couple of gangs moving in that area. Is it one of them?
Oh, I wouldn't really call it a gang.
No?
See, gangs, in my opinion, struggle for power. They struggle for territory. They have an agenda. Our agenda, the Foundry's agenda is just same thing I do. Pick up the scraps. You make something amazing out of it.
Okay.
That's what they do. We go, you know. I've been up to some trouble growing up. Had to go do some things I maybe wasn't the most proud of. Mama, if I remembered her, probably wouldn't be too proud of neither, but we took care of our own, and that's what I kind of tend to do. You stick with me long enough, maybe you'll join that family and I'll watch your back.
I think I'd like to meet this family sometime. They seem... I'd be interested to see whatever caused Cornelius Aphrodelius to be down. If that makes sense.
You want to know the story behind Dale, though?
By all means.
Cornelius Aphrodelius was too long. And there was already a Neil. And then there was a corny Kyle, so just call me Dale. I guess it stuck.
Pause. I gotta add these names.
Corny Kyle and Neil. I don't know. I like it. It's unique, I guess.
Open Henry. Who was the other one we've solidified? Tank? Was he episode 1?
I don't even know that I met a tank.
Well, I think Henry mentioned a tank being gone.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Tank was one of the guys
Okay.
who went missing.
Oh, from the genie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he's one of the kids who most recently disappeared, but the explanation that y'all gave, or the reasoning y'all gave, was that's just what happens to Tank sometimes. Like, he just goes off on his own. Every
Yeah,
once in a
so
while.
far the Foundry has Papa Bo, Dell, obviously, Corny Kyle, Neil, Henry, and Tank.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever, not to change the subject, but I feel like we're avoiding the elephant in the room. The fuck was that guy who came out of a hole in the time-space continuum? You ever seen that before?
No. But it seemed to be one of the detective's bosses.
Yeah, I think. See, talking about hiding the lead, burying it, however, detective's onto some shit that he ain't never shared with us this last couple days.
No, and that's why I was much more comfortable keeping to the back of that particular interaction.
Now, talk about some people with answers. You don't pop out of a hole of mist without having some answers.
No, Pierce and whoever this man, this boss of the detective is, seem to be some rather big players in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that the detective's boss held back on flashing us, which I assume meant some sort of memory erasure. But the reason he didn't do that is because Pierce requested that we be able to work with the detective. Which means Pierce and this commanding officer know each other, or know of each other, and the commanding officer respects Pierce enough to not follow what seems to be one of their typical procedures.
Shit, you got all that from that one interaction. You do pay attention.
As I said, the mist lets me see things that others do not.
So
Speaking
much
of
lore
Pierce.
is being established.
And speaking of Pierce, he's the one I think I trust the least out of all of them.
Yeah, you don't start an interaction talking about how he's going to come after your family and leave that with a good taste in your mouth.
Oh, is that how he got you along?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, all he had to do was ask nice. I was kind of already up to my own shit. It's nice to have some resources and some answers and some people to work with, but I don't like people when they punish you before you even get a chance to say yes.
Agreed. I'm glad that I am an outside... a third party in this. I would not want to work directly under Pierce.
So now that we got this job done, what do you think's gonna happen next?
I'm not sure.
He did say it was like a test, right? For the genie?
That's what it seems to be. We'll see if the broker decides to hire me on again or continuously to keep me on this job, or if they want to handle it a different way moving forward.
Well, I pick up a sake cup. I'm hoping he does hire you again. They.
If not,
She. It. Could be. What if it's just like an AI? What if it's like a program? Wouldn't that be wild? It's a
that would
brain
be
in a jar.
terrifying. Just a brain in a jar. I don't like that thought, but it's not completely unheard of. But regardless of what happens, I'm sure we'll keep in touch. As they raise their glass to clink. But with that, I feel like I've recovered enough. I could see myself home. It's been a long day.
Yeah. Hey, now I've tried ramen. Thanks. Some good shit.
It's nice comfort food.
Hey,
Helps to come to terms with some of the weirder things that happens.
before you go, just, you know, if you want to. My name's Cornelius Averdelius III, which means there was a second, it means there was a first. Every time I go hunting down what happened to those two, I come up short. You mind just kind of floating that across the broker's desk and see if you could look into that for me? As a friend of yours, of course.
Sure.
Be much obliged. I'd owe you one for real.
I've worked for the broker enough where I feel like I could ask this favor, and it wouldn't cost me too much, so think nothing of it.
Now, I look forward to seeing you again soon then.
And Andresj will get up and just, as I said, we'll keep in touch. And on the table, written across the chopstick, like the paper chopstick holster, is a phone number.
I did that for a girl in Perkins once.
Nice.
She texted me. She's kind of mean.
Who foots the bill?
I guess Delta.
I got the check, yeah. Hey, I'm kind of old school. I would want to anyway.
Fair enough. All right, so we are going to
Just
kind
before
of...
you hit the door, you're leaving out. By the way, you smell like shit.
I didn't think about that. You guys are covered in shit and just went
Oh,
into...
that's why we went to the hole in the wall place instead of the nice ramen place.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so we're going to fade out from this scene as, we'll say Del and Andresj finish their conversation in front of the ramen shop before we fade out to them walking opposite directions. Yeah, because Yeah, Del would end up getting on his bike and have to go clear across Pandora to the polar opposite to get back to the old district. As Andresj simply makes his way back into the city, or the Neon Pillars, which is just a couple blocks away. Was there anything you guys wanted to do before we did any level of time jumping here for individual scenes, or the next time you guys want to get together?
I'd probably get on my bike and head back to Dale's shop.
Okay.
And I'd notice a sign that it's on the front door for about a day. It said be back in 15. And I look down and I see an old power washer that was left at my front door, which some people sometimes do when I'm closed. Just with like a little sticky note on it. Says a name, phone number. Says I'll be back tomorrow, pick it up. So I unlock the door and I pull that in and wheel it in. Put it off the side for later. And I just... Damn. Shit, crazy. And I go over to underneath the counter and I pull out a bottle of bourbon. Another glass, and I pour myself a neat 2 fingers. And I take it over the stairs and walk up the stairs up to my one little bedroom flat. And I just shower with the bourbon in my hand and just like take a real long shower.
As you make your way up the steps, there is a sticky note on your door.
The hell? Who got it?
Just says "miss you" with a heart over the eye.
Do I recognize the handwriting or the heart?
You do not.
Well, this could be any number of individuals. And I'm just gonna like grab a pen off a desk. Right. Miss you too. Just leave it there.
Is Del doing anything else after his shower, or is he just going to bed?
I'm gonna spend probably as long as the hot water will last.
Okay.
In that shower, just like replaying thoughts of the day, thinking about Andresj, getting a little smirk. Proud of myself that I barely made any sort of sexual innuendo the whole time.
It's a good achievement to have.
Mm-hmm. And just like thinking about next steps. And the fog fills the room. Scene fades out.
All right. What is Andresj doing anything with the rest of the evening?
Andresj takes the 73 bus back to the base of the. I actually want to establish which tower Andresj is in. Where's the? I don't have. Why is Discord not showing up now? I had the window for Discord open still, but it's just like non-existent on the computer screen for some reason.
All right, so it's kind of tilted in a weird way. So the west building is the green one. The northernmost is the pink one. The easternmost is the yellow building, and the bluemost is the southernmost.
Yeah. Probably be in the yellow one.
Okay.
In the tower closest to like the edge of the peninsula
that
it's on. And so would take the 73 bus back to the base of that tower. Make their way up to their apartment. Would probably actually on the way back to the tower. The entire bus ride would just be like looking over their wrist pad and checking all of their regular Raven drones, and then specifically checking the ones that are patrolling around their tower, both Andresj's apartment and the broker's loft.
Sorry, I need to fix something on my end. before I confuse myself.
No worries.
God, I hate naming things. But I need to.
Too bad Cantina 13's Mythos logos generator doesn't also have an
No, this is
NPC
more
shop
fitting
location.
to what the Andresj's area would be called.
the homestead.
But we
Just
can
like-
figure that out later. I'm just trying to keep my
Just
notes
like
organized for
Andrew
everything.
Jackson.
All right.
No, it wasn't the homestead.
Okay, so I apologize. You said Andresj
Hermitage.
takes the 73rd bus back to the yellow building of the neon pillars.
The number 73 bus.
The number
not
73
just-
bus. Thank you.
Yeah, not just waiting for the 73rd bus
Right.
that comes through.
The number 73 bus back to the yellow building of the
An
neon
OCD
district.
trick that'll make you late every time.
And you're just going straight back to your little one bedroom.
Yep. Watching checking over the Raven drones of the district now, the entire bus ride back, and then specifically looking over the ones that are patrolling around the yellow tower, and checking through, cycling through the ones for Andresj's apartment, Andresj's loft and the broker's penthouse.
Yeah. So as you're kind of flipping through the scenes, kind of going from drone to drone, I'm assuming Andresj is probably a little paranoid that Snyder's not the only one that knows how to gain access to their home. So probably flipping through, kind of zooming in periodically to make sure everything is where it should be and as it should be. And nothing really draws your attention as you make your way back into your home. Outside of, obviously, Andresj would feel paranoid that somebody would know their identity. How's Andresj feeling being back in his home? It's supposed to be his safe haven after quite a few interesting days.
Well, it's really only been the one day that they were away
Have we
from...
established that it was only one day? Yeah, it would have only been
Yeah.
one day, yeah.
We met up at the park this morning.
That's right.
It was a long
And
ass
so
day.
It's just a long ass day. So yeah, Andresj is definitely not comfortable yet because they're still not in their apartment. They do feel a little bit more comfortable just because they can pull their hood up and look like any random person in the Neon District now. And so it's still just it's the constantly looking over their shoulder, making sure that no one's following them, constantly checking all of the cameras to make sure that no one is somewhere that they shouldn't be.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we'll pull up after some of the... No, you know what? I'll get home first. So yeah, if there's anything that happens from me getting home...
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, we'll get home, and before even taking a shower or anything like that, we'll pull up the Raven drone that they are having attempt to follow Dell back to the foundry.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that would be too difficult. As you pull up the drone, because you would get back to your place a lot quicker than Dell would, because he's going clear across Pandora. We have established this is a metropolis, so we're talking Dell's probably got 30+ minute ride back to his homestead. So yeah, Dell, it's easy to pick. You probably pick up on Dell as he is getting through probably the northern part of the city. So you pick up as the Raven drone just kind of zooms in on Dell as he's kind of just casually riding through the town, changing lanes as needed to get by traffic. But as you follow him around, he pulls directly up to Dell's shop, parks his bike out front, locks up. You see him as he picks up the note off the machine, unlocks the door and drags it in before closing the door and locking behind him. The drone would probably kind of leisure down a little bit to kind of look through the windows as you see Dell pour himself a drink before making his way through a back door, making up and then leaving out of the drone's view.
Okay, so yeah, Andresj will just program the drone to follow the bike.
Okay.
And alert Andresj on the notepad or on the wrist pad.
Absolutely.
When the bike moves.
Cool. Absolutely.
And then we'll go through their daily routine of their, like, going through their forms, their martial arts forms, working up a sweat, and then taking a shower.
Okay. I like it.
There's nothing worse than shit smell than sweaty shit smell.
All right, so
and as one last little bit of flavor text, like the mat that's laid out, like the what's the name of the fucking specific straw mats that they use in like martial arts dojos?
Oh, I have no fucking idea.
But that one of those mats is on the ground, and like as they're running through their forms and everything, you know, sweating up a storm, they go take a shower, clean up, come back out after
Just says bamboo straw mat.
Tatami mat?
Yes, thank you. But after like changing into a pair of sweatpants and a hoodie, just goes over to that tatami mat, rolls it up, and brings it to the garbage, and pulls another one out of the closet and lays it out on the floor.
All right, we're going to fade out as this night draws to a close. Were you guys interested in doing some individual scenes, or did you guys want to chime jump and tell another scene of you guys getting together?
It's only been, it's episode 5, but like since we started, it's only been like 2 days, right?
Yeah, more or less.
About, yeah.
So then yesterday, I saw the foundry. I stopped there and talked about the bow. So I was like, I should check in, but it's only been a day.
Like I said, so we can do a little bit of a time jump here. As we've talked off screen, this is going to be a little more get to know the players a little more before we dive into something else, because we still have a crew aspect to establish, but this is really more about a world building episode and getting to know our players a little more. So we can time jump as far as we want, whether it be a couple days, a couple weeks. It doesn't necessarily have to be. We're not time constraint stuck at the moment.
Okay. I don't think, as a player, I recognize the difficulty of this and like whether or not it's actually even possible. I'm fine either way. But as a character, Andresj, after seeing the fucking grenade that Detective Cooper was able to use, is going to try and get their hands on something like that. Like, since they know that that is a thing in the city now.
Okay.
I'm going to try and get a hold of. It can be a grenade. It can't just be some of whatever that is that disables his powers. My goal with that is the broker is trying to up their security and wants to use some of that to make it so that people like Pierce Snyder can't use his mist ability to get into their apartment anymore.
Okay. I would say that is something you could possibly do. It is going to be very difficult because this weaponry is established and only used by a group of individuals that you don't have much knowledge on at the moment. So you are going to be doing... So that's not something I don't think we could probably establish here, but this would be a ongoing mystery that we could kind of establish on our end that can be workshopped around and developed upon as Andresj would learn more about the inn from Cooper.
Okay.
But yes, I will make note of that and we can absolutely explore that.
Dope.
I probably, I'm not sorry, did you have more to build on that or something else? Maybe?
Go ahead.
Something Dale would probably do is over the next couple days, because we haven't heard anything from Snyder and meantime and Detective Cooper. So the next couple days, I'm just gonna kind of rethink that fight with the Skinwalker and kind of think what I wish I had in that moment. And so in the meantime of fixing that power washer and fixing the next things that people routinely come by, and I see my regulars, at nights I'm gonna go down to my personal workshop in the basement where I kind of create my little gadgets for personal use, and I'm gonna pick apart a bug zapper.
Okay.
And I'm gonna kind of replay all of the amazing things that Andresj had done, and think what would happen if I was in close quarters. Think I'd be fucked. So with the bug zapper, and just an old pair of leather gloves, I'm gonna kind of make a set of almost like stun fists.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I also thought, replayed all the things that Colin was saying. Like, we didn't know his name. We didn't ask any questions. We didn't even attempt to see if we could fight back the mist before we just went to kill. And I kind of felt a little ashamed that my first thought was to go buy silver bullets rather than think of something else.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find something that would help in close combat quarters, but also something that could incapacitate.
Gotcha.
Rather than fatal.
So what I'm going to say here is, because sounds like what you're trying to do, it'd be something, a theme card would be required, but more so what we're going to do to kind of help build on your MacGyver abilities, I'm going to say this is going to be creating a blueprint to give you abilities to make things on the fly easier. So we're going to make this a bit of a story tag. So you're just going to be making a blueprint for a stun weapon of sorts.
Ooh, sorry. I'm reading through the rules right now, and this is basically just preparing for the next activity in the montage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so dope.
Yep.
And this is when we would heal up too if we had any sort of statuses or...
Oh, no.
Right.
Boser's starting to get robotic.
Uh-oh.
A little bit, but...
Not to me. Not on my end.
Well, yeah, that's because it's your computer.
Yeah, you went robotic, and now your video is a little blurry.
That's coming back, though. I think it
Okay.
was just a hiccup.
Sorry. But this is also where we would heal and clear any statuses.
Yeah. No,
Like
so
the
we're
long rest.
montaging now. So yeah, you're not gonna have any statuses. But yeah, so like in general, so what you're wanting would be technically gonna be considered like a relic, which would require a theme card. So that would require you to give up a logo to establish a
Well, let's establish this, because this is kind
Yeah.
of what I wanted him to be able to do, like a gadgeteer.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
only create on the fly, but be able to make things that could help people.
Right,
ahead of
and so
time.
that's what I'm saying. So this is
wanna
establishing
have to
story
change.
tags. Story tags do not have to be resolved immediately.
Okay.
Story tags are established as something that are going to be continuous throughout the tale. So you would use these, and this is just going to be a story tag that you would carry with you. And because we're setting the scene for you, we're going to have what we're doing, just like taser brass knuckles. You are you're making a story tag, so you would have a role for this. Mechanically speaking, because this is a montage, I'm not too worried about the role. This is something I will allow you to create, because even if it fails the first time, you're montaging, you're trial and erroring, creating something here. So at the moment right now, you are making a story tag for Taser Knuckles, which is just going to be on your little data tag sheet, or however you want to track things. You're going to label this, and Boser's completely frozen.
Not to me.
Not for me.
Maybe
is
it's
this
your
a me
internet.
issue? God,
Maybe
I
it's
hope
you.
it might be. All right, he's back now.
Calling him
If we're
stun
doing
nuts.
montage, are you following? Are you deviating from the montage rules? Or are we just using the montage rules for this?
I think we're just using montage rules for this. But what were you questioning?
Then he just gets 3 juice. He doesn't need to roll if it's a montage.
Oh, yeah, right. That's what I was saying. I was just explaining that, like, this is going to be a story tag of just something, like, in general, he can have that +1 to said weapon because he has created this in canon.
Gotcha.
As compared to having to create the role in the moment of making that on the fly. this is an item you have on hand because of this, which is why you have the story tag.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I create so just to kind of make sure I understand this and solidify it now, in the future, if I want to create like an item, I'm not going to go crazy and abuse it and make like an entire arsenal every montage. But if I want to create an item on the fly, then I have to use like parts available and I have to roll for it. But if I want to then use things during a montage and maybe make another boost of an item or even upgrade an item, I can do that during the montage?
Yes.
Cool. I dig it. And then also during this kind of free time, one night I'm going to be like sitting up in my little room. It's kind of staring out the window. I got my old record player on, playing some old school jazz on an old scratchy record, but that's how I like it. And I'm just gonna kind of close my eyes and try to contact the Mythos within.
Okay.
Like say, so you spoke to me before. Feel free to do it again, friend.
Ooh, what is going to be a good voice for? Bear with me just a moment here.
Do you mind if we actually just, so that you have the time to look this up real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
It's not the perfect ideal time narratively, but could we just take a quick 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Sure. I gotta pee anyway.
Yeah. There we go. So we'll be right back, y'all. Love ya.
Welcome back to 4 Geeks by Geeks, where geeks come to geek out. We're playing City of Mist, and we're getting some one-on-one time with these characters.
So cool. Fucking loving this.
Yep.
So to pick up, Dell was reaching out to the Mythos within, attempting to have a conversation with them.
He reached out to me first last episode, and I didn't even know that was possible. So, homeboy's got some questions.
What do you want?
Can we acknowledge this is fucking weird?
Can we acknowledge that you have one job and you decided to not do it?
What are you talking about? One job? By the way, hi, my name's Cornelius Averdelius. My friends call me Dale. Who the fuck are you?
I don't care. I want my wife. She called out and you ignored her.
You're who? You're what?
And you feel the tension inside of you, almost as like anxiety is spreading throughout your body. You feel as you inevitably tense up as
Shit, I just spilled
your as your Mythos not takes control, because at no point am I ever going to say you guys lose control of yourself, but you are 50-50 Mythos, 50-50 Dell, and you feel just the tension as your body contorts and tightens in itself. If you hear her call for help, you go to her immediately.
I don't even know who the fuck she is.
Aphrodite, the only important being in this godforsaken realm.
I'm trying to think of character. Would Dell even know? Like, in all that he's forgotten, and then all that he's known since? Would he, like, know about these Greek gods?
I mean, Greek mythology is a pretty prevalent thing, I think, in even day-to-day society. Yeah. I'm trying to think, because, like, I'm a big Greek mythology buff, so, like, a lot of my stuff I know, I keep up with it.
That's true. Like, they're common, they're almost household names.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Wait, you married to Aphrodite? Wait, hold on, let me think back.
Goddess of love, goddess of beauty.
Yep, it's coming back. that was your wife. Hey, man, good job. Good for you.
And I would say at this point, you see the physical manifestation of Hephaestus take place for the first time. And then standing before you is the most muscular individual you have ever seen in your life. Hephaestus stands before you in nothing other than a red cloak draped over his waist, and every visible part of his body is just the most ripped muscles you have ever seen. His abs are clearly defined all the way out to the obliques. His biceps are absolutely massive. And as you scan up, physically an attractive individual until you get to his face. It is distorted and beaten in. His lips are cracked and twisted. His eyes are not level, but almost offset, as his face just doesn't seem to fit his body.
First off, nice to meet you. Second of all, what is your workout routine? Because you look fine as hell.
He manifests this massive hammer and he slams it onto the ground in front of you as you see a plume of fire kind of emit out in front of you as it dances along the mist and dissipates into the walls as it collides.
You can use your words for you. You don't have to use your scare tactics. We're in this together.
I am the creator of Zeus's bolts and any of the finest weaponry that Olympia has to offer.
Okay, this tracks. This is why I can't stop creating shit from looking at every kind of shit I see. I've got so many questions. Why are you inside my brain?
I needed a host. You were available. You seemed capable. I was wrong.
Wait. We can help each other out.
You sure? Because the moment you heard her, you left. You basically sprinted away. And Hephaestus is getting physically angry at this point.
Hey. I hear you. Your feelings are valid. I'm listening. All right? Put yourself in my shoes.
Go ahead and just face the danger for me.
Face the danger? What about convince? Damn it. Do I get any tag for this?
Sure.
Can I...
To clarify, this is more of just a cinematic feel to like outplay how this interaction is going to go.
It's a 7.
So with a 7, you see Hephaestus as he winds up his hammer and swings it at you, catching you on the shoulder, throwing you into the wall.
Jesus. Hey! Listen. That is not necessary.
If she calls you, you answer immediately.
Listen, I got a life too, bud. I get it. I've felt love. I know what it
will
feels
burn
like.
this world to the ground. Everything you have and everything you love will become molten, and I will forge it into the greatest gift she has ever received.
It's very descriptive knowledge. Thank you. Is there a place I should be looking?
I don't know. I can't find her! And he takes his hammer and throws it across the room as the mist causes the hammer to slam into the wall, but it dissipates into a plume of smoke.
I'm not quite whole read up on my mythology. Where does she go?
That is why I have you to find her. I don't know.
All right. Listen, now you've benefited me in great ways. I'm grateful. The least I can do is repay the favor. We're all on the same team here, bud.
And Hephaestus is gonna disappear into the smoke. And as you look around, the wall next to you has dented in mildly as things you've had onto the wall have fallen. Where the hammer would have hit in the mist on the wall, papers have kind of thrown around. So to the outside world, those who can't see the mist, it just looks like you threw yourself into the wall, and just a open window caused wind to go shooting across the room, causing papers and items to fly all over the place.
And honestly, I kind of picture, like, from an outside perspective, like, in my own mind, it's like me having a conversation, but to somebody else, it's probably me, like, slashing, throwing myself all over the room, like Venom.
Canonically, I don't know if this is, like, how the Mist actually interacts with their host. I like the idea of it, so this might not be City of Mist-centric. I like the idea behind it, though, so... City of Mist, if you're seeing this, like, that's not right. Sorry, homies. Thanks for the great world, though.
It is here in the Misfits. Okay. I'm just gonna grab my phone.
Okay.
And I'm gonna reach in my pocket and pull out a chopstick wrapper. Punch in a number. I'm gonna send a text.
What's Andresj's phone number?
867. I'm just gonna send a text. Hey, it's Dale. ... I don't know if I'm tripping or some weird shit just happened. Can you meet up sometime soon? Send.
And we'll just do a hard cut to Andresj. What's Andresj doing right now?
So, with my downtime, Andresj realized just how much they were set back by not being able to use their Mythos as much as they wanted.
Okay.
So Andresj would be spending their downtime trying to explore their Mythos, trying to make it stronger.
Okay.
And be able to use it for longer periods of time.
Okay.
As well as just researching, like, I think the way that this looks is narratively Andresj is going to be going to Mimir's well.
Okay.
And taking another drink from it.
Sure.
And trying to reach out to Odin.
Okay.
Because, like, we just saw the relationship between Hephaestus and, sorry, I don't know if I should have said that yet.
Well, I had already said it, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't want to spoil anything, but we just saw the relationship between Hephaestus and Del, and how Del didn't really know Hephaestus because reasons. Andresj knows the mythology, but also has, like, they're on the cusp of this relationship. There's been no communication between them and their Mythos. And that's why I'm trying to find the answer to the mystery of my Mythos, of why was I chosen. So yeah, the next morning, Andresj makes their way over to Edith Park, to the massive ash tree in the middle of the park, and, you know, same thing as before, drops the couple of silver coins in the cup. Murmur pours out the coins into his palm, puts them in his pocket, and hands the, like, just old, worn cardboard coffee cup up to Andresj, who sees it as the worn pewter mug that it truly is behind the mist. Dips it into the spring below Yggdrasil, and why me?
I would say, just to take the scene over just a little bit, at the moment the well water touches your lips, you feel the earth around you begin to tremble as you begin to almost float in midair, as you see the ground beneath you crumble, as you begin to see Yggdrasil's roots kind of sprouted all over the world. You see the mist begin to swirl and broaden as this ash tree goes from a large-sized tree to the world tree. You see a squirrel, a massive squirrel, begin running between the branches. And as you look up, you see the Allfather himself as he reaches down a hand as the mist swirls beneath you and brings you up to him.
How is the Allfather presenting himself? Because this is the world tree. He's...
That's a good question. How...
Trigger warning for everyone, but he's not hanging from it.
No. We're not going that.
Okay.
That's a valid question. Very good point. No,
I don't know my Norse mythology that well to even get triggered by anything.
Okay.
We're not going to do the trigger warning explanation live. That's something we can discuss off screen. No, I'm going to say the Allfather reveals himself in just thrown clothing. He's not dressed in his war armor that you would typically see him in. I think he's just dressed in standard cloth.
The general mythos of Odin and how he presents himself is that of a traveler in blue robes and a hood.
Yep. He's got his, obviously you recognize the thick beard, the eye patch with Odin's symbol obviously on the eye patch covering his eye. My child. Why? It's a good question. I don't know. You seemed efficient. You seemed useful. You seemed like a young me. We could do much together.
That depends on what you're wanting to do. But I have my own plans and aspirations. And I need to make sure that yours won't get in the way.
I've traveled many realms. I've faced many foes. This one's different. There's much here that I don't know yet, but I must. I can't not. I need to know everything and nothing. I need to know every little bit about this world and how it functions. I need to know its inhabitants. I need to know its foes. I need to know it all.
On that we can agree.
There may be times I pull you for things that I need done, but I feel like that is a fair trade-off. If I give you my eye, give you Mimir, give you the answers to things that you may not be able to answer on your own.
I've used your sight to see many things that I and others would not be able to see. This is true. But I cannot accept these terms of pulling me away without knowing ahead of time what that may mean. What that does mean. For you and I know well enough that knowledge is the most important weapon.
That it is, and I do think it is a fair trade that I forewarn you for any battles that may require our attention. So unless the snake itself reveals itself, I give you my word, I will give you notice if I take priority in your realm.
Okay. Notice is good. And I will maintain my right to deny your requests, knowing full well that to deny such a request means denying the power that I have been given.
That is correct.
Very well.
And he sets out a mighty hand before you.
In what way? Like palm up as if he wants me to climb up into it? Or like
Oh, no, as a handshake. Treating you
Like
as
a
an
fist
equal.
bump.
Good. It's a fist bump. No, Andresj will reach out and shake the hand as best they can.
And as... Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm picturing this as like Odin is presenting himself to me, not as like I'm the size of his toe, but as
Oh, no, he's
like
is equal to you.
okay,
Yeah.
the same. Cool.
He's speaking to you eye to eye.
Dope.
Pun intended.
Then yeah. Then yeah, Andresj will absolutely accept the gesture and shake his hand back.
And as you shake his hand, he begins to swirl into the mist as it begins to fade away, as Yggdrasil begins to shrink in size. Earth begins to come back into itself, but not before a giant squirrel shadow is cast over you as it jumps through into another branch. As you look back down and you find your feet back on solid ground.
With a quick turn away, throwing the hood back up after the wind has pushed it back. Take care, Murmur.
And as you throw your hood back up, your forearm chimes.
Tomorrow? Do you know a spot?
Yeah. Meet me here. I'll send you an address.
Alright.
In my head, Dell seems like an old enough man where it's like, yeah, meet me here. And then like 45 minutes later, he's like, oh, address.
I'm old school. I'm not that old school.
I don't know why. I think I'm still stuck on the Ocean's 13 version of Dell, where it's the old man. I haven't really grasped around the
Anyway,
fact that
what was
this
his
Dell
name?
is like 30-something.
That was... I liked
Yeah.
him.
He was fun. But Dell in this is what, like, young 30s?
Probably not, like... He was about 15 when he got picked up, so he's
Is he in his
like-
20s?
in his 20s.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it hasn't been...
Mid younger 20s.
Yeah. He's got a nice beard, but... He seems both old for his age and young for his age, all at the same
Right,
time.
like a man at a time.
I like it. I like it. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do before you got together?
I think I did everything I want to do.
I mark one attention for this though, right? On the
Yes.
Mythos card? Okay.
Hawthorne Daggis. That was his name.
Hawthorne, that's right. That's right.
Hawthorne Daggis.
Yep. There it is. All right. So, and you were just having Andresj meet you at Dell's.
No, it's going to be actually a few blocks away. Let me pull up the map. I lost it again. It's going to be... It's not quite... It's like on the outskirts of the old district.
Okay.
Getting closer to probably the Copper Demon
Territory.
Company, yeah.
Okay.
It's this little old, like, piano bar.
What's the name of the piano bar?
The Tickling Ivories.
Alright.
And it's kind of like an old school kind of pub. It's usually got, throughout the day, someone's usually tickling the ivories, playing the keys, but on weekends, they usually have dueling pianos and have a lot of sing-alongs and play whatever. But in this mid-afternoon well, yeah, I'd say let's meet up in the early afternoon.
How married are you to the name?
Not
Can you call it the Laughing Elephant?
sure.
Because it's tickled ivory?
Yeah, I love it. You're like laughing elephant. Giggling pachyderm.
It's just like an old-fashioned, like 1920s old neon sign.
Yeah, been there
That just has like, that's just got like an elephant in a tailcoat and like a butler with a feather duster,
yeah.
tickling its tusk.
Yeah, it's just a lot of wood everywhere. Some booths, some red curtains around.
Like it looks kind of like a speakeasy. Yeah, I dig it.
I am
dig it.
determined to figure out how neon colors work so I can make this sign.
I got some tips for you.
But yeah, Andresj or the broker, will specifically like take the rest of the evening to just scout out the address that Dell gave them with their Raven drones.
Okay.
Send a couple over to the area and just scout out the area so that I've got at least I have a map of the alleyways and roadways around it, just so that if I need to, I know how to get out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just time jump then to... so I'm assuming the broker hires Andresj again to meet?
Well, Dell specifically texted Andresj.
Or, okay, that's valid. Okay, gotcha. I see what you... I was in my head broker still. Okay. So
the
how
broker
does
sends over a
Andresj
couple
get
of Raven drones.
across Pandora?
The train system.
Okay.
Like,
Does Pandora have an old school train, or are we talking bullet trains?
I would love to say that it's a bullet train, but it probably, like, okay, we'll do it this way. It's kind of like the Gotham rail system in the
Arkham series?
Christopher Nolan series, where like most of the trains are these rickety old like Chicago style trains, but then there's one like new line that goes around the entire city as just a loop, and that's
cool.
What would you call that? Like the light
L
loop or something?
Yeah.
L for
Basically,
lightning
yeah.
and elevated. The elevated lighting. LL.
L for L, the LLL, lightning, the elevated lightning loop.
Yeah.
Elevated lightning loop. All right, hold
That's
on.
cool. Which we also just call the L. The L's train.
The L's train, yeah.
You
the elevated
must
light
take
loop.
the L's train.
Because it's essentially a light rail system that's elevated above the city by like, however many feet up. Because there's, we've got the old-fashioned Chicago train cars that are going around, also elevated above, but also going underground. But then elevated a level above that is the new light rail system that's just a single loop around the city.
That's cool.
For longer distances, with those older train cars being the primary subway or train route across within a district. And then of course there's bus systems as well.
Okay.
That are even more.
I like that a lot.
We're actually a functioning city, and we have a functioning public transport system.
Not everybody needs a car.
It's nice to have, but it's not necessary
Exactly.
to get around a functioning metropolitan area.
Your taxes actually
Looking
do
at
something.
you, LA.
Have you fleshed out all of what do these districts look like, what they feel like?
No.
So in the Copper Demon Company area, the one that's just south of the old district, I almost envision that, like when you go to, usually have like an actual old warehouse district, dilapidated buildings, but then just next to it, which would be the old district, but just next to it, you have like the gentrified hipster area that it's like all art studios. And that's where all the artists...
where the two overlap, it's the post-industrial.
Yep. And that's where the
areas,
laughing elephant's at.
Nice. Oh, that's so good.
All right, hold on.
We have an
making
area
some
like
notes
that
here.
We have an area like that in Minneapolis called the North Loop, and it's. I mean, there's a couple of areas that have stuff like that, but The North Loop is specifically like old warehouses and stuff like that have just been gutted and turned into all sorts of cool
workspaces,
bars and restaurants and stuff.
giant apartments, and cool like little
Exactly.
like in what's it called, the Brick in Indianapolis. It's like this old warehouse, but then they put a bunch of different cool restaurants and shops inside, and they're all really good. You can just order from every little bit.
We actually have a place that I want to say was, if it wasn't inspired by the brick itself, it was inspired by the same concept because they built it new, but it's made to look like an old brick warehouse building.
Yeah.
That's been gutted, so it's very post-industrial stylization, and it's called the Market at Malcolm Yards.
So cool.
And it's so cool. It's just like you've got a bunch. The entire area is almost like a mall cafeteria setup, where there's a bunch of different restaurants that have like really good and unique and somewhat high-end food. But you just go up and you get like a tray.
Yeah,
and bring it back to the
exactly.
table you're sitting at. It's super cool.
Sorry, coming back.
So we're hipsters. Excuse us.
Hence the beanie.
All right.
So we meet at the Laughing Elephant.
Yes, the Laughing Elephant. Does Del wait outside for him, or does Del meet him inside?
Nah, don't waste no time ordering a drink. I pop in. I think I show up in between like a set on the pianist, so it's open a little bit, and I just kind of cross over and with my left hand tickle out a short little melody. Yeah, Del plays piano.
All right,
Nice.
noted.
And he, let's say, like sidles up to the far end of the bar. How's it going, Bailey?
Hey, Del, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I know it's been a little minute since I've been in here, but how's business?
We've been popping. City's growing. This area's growing, so we're getting a little different clientele. But I mean, keeping doors open.
Hey, that's always a positive. Hey, question for you. Did that redhead ever come back from a couple weeks ago?
No,
That I was
you
in
scared her off.
Damn. She was a bombshell, you know?
Yeah, and so is your personality, Del. And she taps you on the arm.
It's not for everybody, but it is for anybody.
What are you drinking?
Oh, give me a, Actually, let's have fun. I have this deck of cards in my hand that I was messing with. Each one has a different cocktail on it. We're gonna shuffle it and see what his go-to drink here Laughing Elephant is. Why don't you give me a, my go-to? A by the pool.
All right.
You know that green drink you made me? It's got like Midori and pink schnapps, lemon lime soda, and orange juice.
You want another by the pool? I mean, I didn't think that was your type of drink. Sure. I mean, if you liked it, here you go.
You know what? You got me hooked on it. It's really sweet.
And Bailey is a very eccentric bartender. She begins to flip bottles around and pour behind her back and really puts on a show. Like, you're coming to the Laugh Factory for the ambiance as a whole. And Bailey's been running the joint for years, so she knows what everybody's into, and everybody loves dinner and a show. So she throws together this drink for you and slides it down the bar.
You are always the mixologist, Bailey.
She gives you a wink before getting back to work.
Hey, if ever you
No,
get
Del.
lonely, you know where to
Nope,
find me.
absolutely not. I will cut you off.
I'll warm up to you one of these days.
No, you won't. And she disappears into the kitchen.
I sit and wait.
Andresj shows up.
On
Not
time?
Too long after. Yeah.
Okay. I want to know how cool you
I
were.
mean, Andresj is the kind of person who, because they're taking public transport, would
Have to be on time.
would try and be there a little, would plan to be there a little early, so that if the train or bus was a little behind, they'd still be able to make it there on time. So, we'll be around the corner and wait until it's if we plan to meet at 6, Andresj is around the corner and waits to walk around into the door until like 5:58 so that they walk in the door at 6.
I like it. So we'll say if you're walking in at 6, then I'd say Andresj walks in exactly as this new set begins to play. So you hear the keys begin to get tickled as Andresj makes his way across the bar where he sees Del sitting by himself at the bar top.
Good to see you again, Del.
Long time no see.
You could say that.
What you been up to last couple?
Jobs, research, trying to make sure I'm ready for whatever new job does come up.
Did you kill anybody?
No, I tend to avoid that as best as I can.
Well, consider it.
That was an
Extenuating.
Extenuating.
That was an extraneous circumstance.
Extenuating.
I thought it was extenuating circumstance.
Extenuating circumstance.
That doesn't sound right.
That was a
Unforeseen.
yeah.
How do you say this word?
I don't know. That was not how things usually happen.
Extenuating. No R.
Listen, I got stuck on skeleton yesterday. I was like, is it skeleton or skellington? And I realized the error, but every time, like, I'm trying to write a danger around skeletons. I was like, skeleton. Skeleton? What the fuck is a skeleton? That's not a fucking word.
That was an extenuating circumstance, and it seemed like Colin was in particular danger. And I didn't... It's bad for business if your coworkers die.
I haven't had many of those, but I assume you're right.
And as you guys are chatting, Bailey comes back around the corner. Del doesn't have friends. Are you looking for somebody, honey?
Oh, I got lots of friends, Bailey. Don't you lie to this man.
She just completely ignores you. What are you drinking, hun?
Could I get a tequila old-fashioned with a bit of beer and topping of chili pepper?
House or top shelf?
House.
You got it, honey. And she starts working on your drink for you.
Have you ever tried one of these? And I slide over this electric green glass of something.
Well, I like the color.
Give it a try.
Ooh. That was far too sweet.
And as you say
I
that,
really
she
like it.
spins around and sets your drink down in front of you.
Thank you.
You know,
And,
I like to mix it up from time to time. Keeps things fresh.
Just as like a pre-tip, Andresj will slide a silver dollar across the counter.
Okay. So as she sets that down, she kind of pawns it backwards, gives you a wink, and walks back.
Strong move. Nice. Hey, speaking of not letting your friends die, got you some.
Yeah.
And I reach down into my leg pouch and open it up. Pull out a small white box with a red ribbon wrapped around it.
Right here?
Sure.
Sorry, I'm not usually one to get presents.
It's his dick in a box. Sorry.
Chopped it off myself this morning. It's fresh.
Oh, that was a strange mashup of Seven and Lonely Island. But,
What's in the box?
What's at the box? Against my better judgment as a player, Andresj opens the box.
And inside, it's a small thin box. You see one right-handed glove, and to the rest of the world, it just looks kind of like a leather driving glove.
Mm-hmm.
But you notice that it is a glove, but it's got some cool metallic aspects ornating it, as well as across the knuckles 4 small round currently just black dots that are outlined in copper.
Puts it on. It's just my style.
Yeah, I had an idea for those, and I can only use the one. Didn't want it to go waste.
It's a very good
Has
point.
full capability of just making one glove. He's like, nah, it's got to be a pair.
Makes a pair. I was going to ask where the other one was, but that makes sense.
In case I noticed
Should I
it.
not be leaning my hand against my face wearing it, though?
Nah, so, and I reach over and I grab your hand.
Okay.
And I flip it over, palm up. So, it only works. You see here on the index finger. So when you connect the left thumb to the index finger, or the right, my bad, I'm used to that, right thumb, index finger, it solidifies the connection. And that'll put a nice shock into whoever you make contact with.
All right, and as you make the connection, you see arcs begin to jump between your knuckles.
That's nice. That's very nice.
You know, I know you not got fancier stuff, but just to show you, sometimes old school ain't so bad.
No. Del, this is incredible. Thank you. I'll be sure to put it to good use next time. Hopefully the next time we work together.
Let's hope. And if not, you let me know how it works for you. I haven't really tested it out myself either, but these things work better
Starts
on the go
punching
anyway.
each other.
What's that?
Starts punching each other.
And Andresj just like pulls out the silver bullet that you gave to them the other day. The single silver bullet. I actually have an idea of... I'm already coming up with some plans. Because these two together could be quite a bit of fun.
Ooh.
Tucks the silver bullet back into one of the pockets.
I always like when ingenuity inspires ingenuity. The human way, anyway.
Well, it's funny you say that because it reminds me of something that my sensei taught me when I was learning how to fight, how to defend myself. They always... It wasn't until the later courses and them trying to teach us the more advanced techniques, but they wanted to make sure that we were able to always find a way to defend ourselves within the world. Yes, we should learn how to use our own body as a weapon, but sometimes it may not be enough. Sometimes someone comes at you with a weapon of their own, and in that situation it may not be wise to rely on just your own fists to defend yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trained to always find ways to tip the balance of the battlefield in your favor.
I think I noticed that with that cool plank or whatever you found down there in the sewers.
Anything can be a weapon if it needs to be. Hopefully it doesn't need to be, but it's keeping an eye on your surroundings, making sure that you always have a plan in mind.
Well, I appreciate you coming to meet me. I had an interesting, call it a run-in. I just wasn't sure if you ever had anything like it, and I really don't know who else to talk about it to.
Hit me.
And Del kind of turns away from the center of the bar and kind of leans on the back of it, it's facing the wall and the entry to the bathrooms behind him. You ever talk to it?
To what?
You know, it.
I'm at a loss, Del. I'm sorry. What is it? I'm really hoping that it's not where my mind is going right now, knowing you.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god!
He's got a point as Bailey walks by and goes back into the kitchen.
No, you're not wrong, Bailey. No, no, that's not a question. Of course you talk to. How else do you do so well? Every day, every night. Come on. No, I mean, I guess the power within.
Oh. Not usually, no. It's... I mean... I have once,
Me too, just once.
but it wasn't very clarifying or illuminating, more ominous.
Did it throw you against the wall too?
No.
Oh, cool. I'm special. Yeah. So, okay, honestly, it was way back in the sewers. We were headed down the path of that person, and I heard a voice. I heard multiple voices. One was beckoning for me, and the other was pushing me to go after it, but I didn't recognize either of them, and I thought I was just going crazy, to be honest. Thought it was the shit smell, but I had the gas mask and everything, but I decided to just keep on the mission, and I felt so torn up inside, you know, like a piece of me really wanted to go towards it. And so that was the first time that ever happened. And the other night, I got a little blitz in my place and thought, well, better no time like the present. I was kind of like, said hello. I never knew how to do any of that. I don't meditate. I don't do any of that yogi shit. But it talked back, and then it was like in front of my eyes, and he was jacked as hell. And I just kept thinking, how do you have that many abs? And then he was like throwing a hammer, and then he was like throwing me, and then that never happened to you?
Not as you've described it, no. Mine was more of a conversation.
Huh. Mutual respect.
Hey.
That's weird. That's cool. You know.
To an extent. It still seemed... There was a respect involved, but they still seemed to see me more as a tool
Yeah.
to further their ends.
Right. Like, yeah, I chose you to do this thing. Now why don't you fucking do it, dumbass?
Well, in all fairness, it's the same way that I treat them.
Well, that's a very humbling thought, isn't it?
This situation, this connection between us and them, it seems like it... Mutually beneficial isn't the proper term here, but at least both sides can get something out of it.
Can I ask, are you familiar with the term verse?
Verse. As in, like, poetry?
No, not quite. It's more of an underground term. You know what? Never mind.
No, please, enlighten me.
I'm all right. It's just kind of remind me of it all, going both ways and all. But did anything? Do you ever feel like you should be chasing that, whatever that thing is whatever it wants. Like you owe it?
Not like I owe it. But yes. If I choose to chase whatever they ask me to chase, it'll be because I want to. Because in exchange, I will get something in return. More power, more knowledge, which could be the same thing.
It's true. Never thought that leaning into it could benefit me. Just thought it'd get in the way.
I mean, look at what you're able to do with what they've given you already. You made a rifle out of a trash can. You made these gloves out of...
It was actually a bug zapper.
A bug zapper and some motorcycle armor. It's... What we can do because of what they give us is incredible. It bends the world around us to, at times, to what we want the world to be.
What we want the world to be.
And so it is a... I mean, maybe you just need to show this hammer bodybuilder who's boss.
How?
I'm not sure. Prove to him that he needs you as much as you need, or prove to him that he needs you even more than you need him. Because when it comes down to it, would he even be here if the two of you broke that connection?
Shit, I don't know how any of this works, but there's probably some sense in what you're saying.
You would continue living. Yes, it would be a less glamorous, far more boring life, but you would continue living if he were gone. He would have to... Would he?
I don't know, he seemed very real. Outside of me. But I don't know, I guess I just want to hear what you thought. And to see you again.
I think it may be interesting, at least, to try and bring the hammer down on him, rather than the other way around. As they take a sip of their drink. Just a thought.
Well, maybe I need to spend some time investigating that.
I found it pays off.
Yeah, take a page out of your book and look into shit.
Boser, you begin, Del, you begin to hear a tune on the piano. A very catchy tune. But then something catches your interest, because the piano bar is, at this time of day, there's no performers. It's just the pianist just playing. But outside of the door, you hear a voice. A voice calling to you, singing this song under its breath. You hear the melody begin to pick up as their vocals catch you in a way that you can't describe. In a way that you feel calling you in a way you can't ignore. The voice is familiar in multiple ways. It's a voice you haven't heard in years, but a voice that's also comforting and familiar. As almost uncontrollably, you get up and just make your way across the bar and out the door. And as you step outside, you see a familiar face.
Are you alright? Del?
You see a dark-skinned individual as they barely catch your eyes as you look out the door, as they stop singing, as they cut the corner, as you see your one, your only Darius.
And they cut the corner?
And they cut the corner and the song was gone.
I run. I sprint.
As you sprint down the road and you turn the corner, they're not there. The street is empty. There's no one around. Just a small stream running through the city, pouring over into the ocean along the coastline.
Shit. I'm gonna look around for. Can I investigate anything that?
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigate.
I'm gonna use eye for detail.
Yep.
And want to use. Can I use a tag metaphorically?
No.
I want to use fix what is broken.
Oh no.
Ooh, I have more. Can I use determine for answers and flash of memory?
Yeah.
Also. Okay. Hey, theme I haven't never used. Shit. Okay, it's still 7.
You hear the song pick back up. Further down the stream, you see barely off in the distance a shadowy figure come up on the rock, kind of pulling themselves up by their arms before falling backwards into the water as it disappears out of sight.
Can I rush to the edge and look down?
And there's nothing there. But as you look further down the stream once again, as it pours into the ocean, you see the figure once again kind of arc itself out of the water and then dip back down into it.
What the hell? I just shout over the water. Darius! Darius!
I miss you. And as the scene fades away, we look over onto Pandora as Dell is overlooking the western coastline. And that is where we will finish off this week.
No!
All right.
Damn.
I need to do something. I felt not bored. I was very much enjoying that, but I didn't need to be here this whole session.
Yes, you did.
So I needed to do something to bring myself in to the story that is being woven.
Just me.
I like it.
So I know a geek out session here is a little mundane since we just had a lot of one-on-one
2 hours of geek out session
between the two of you. How do you guys feel about each other's characters right now?
I made a friend.
Andresj is the broker feels like they are gaining a foothold to learn more about the foundry so that they can complete the job that they were hired on to complete for.
You know that's
You
more
showed
than
up.
that. Stop. Don't hurt me like that.
Oh, don't worry. I am building up
To major heartbreak.
Yes.
Cool. Yep.
No, I'm building up to some major emotional moments here. Good or bad or both or neither. No, neither. Good or bad or both.
And maybe we'll see that next time. But until then, I'm T.
I'm exhausted. Boser.
I'm Jeff Sitz.
And you guys just keep geeking out.
Get out.
Bye.
Love you all.